I'm Susan Goodis. I am your president of the Santa Clara Valley Fiddlers Association. And it is an organization that I love, and I want to keep seeing us grow and bring in new people. So it takes everybody. Our first matter of business is going to be our trustee election. We have to have a quorum check. We need 18 members to meet quorum. 18 paid-up members. And I believe we had a couple of new members today. I don't know who you are at this point, but welcome. Glad to have you on board. So all the members, please raise your hands. Are you going to do the counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh my goodness, I think this is a record. Thank you, everybody. Alrighty, I would like to call up our two new potential trustees right now, Leslie and Caleb. And also I want to extend our thank you to our retiring trustees, even though one of them is not here, Dave Thomas, who is in Portland, and Sam Scilacci, he is here somewhere. You want to raise your hand, Sam? Thank you so much, Sam. And we keep Sam around so he can keep everybody going fast when they play. All right, Leslie, come on up. Leslie would be taking seat 3. Can I have you say a few words? Say hello and...
Hello, everybody. I'm Leslie Wu. I usually come here with my husband and my 2 kids, Mandy and Tilden. I have mostly been a driver for Mandy so she could get here because she's the one in our family that has been playing this type of music since, I guess, a few years ago when in middle school, her middle school teacher gave her extra credit for coming to this meeting. And we've been coming back ever since, and it's been really fun for all of us, even though she's really the primary player in our family. Lately, I started playing mountain dulcimer. I've had like 4 lessons, so it's been really fun so far. But I can't hold my own in the gym, and I don't anticipate being able to do that for a while. But it's a fun goal to have. I look forward to serving the organization. I believe in having everybody come together to make music. I think it's magic, and I'm really excited to help. Thank you.
All righty. Okay, by a show of hands, all in favor of Leslie Wu joining our board?
I'm going to raise 2 hands.
Oh, anyone else for 2? Okay, anybody opposed? Unanimous. Leslie, welcome to the board. Thank you. All right, and next here we have Caleb. Come on over. If you need to pull this out. I'm a little short by comparison.
Hello everybody. I've seen a lot of you probably over the last several years since I moved out here back in 2018 from the Shenandoah Valley, Virginia actually. I kind of grew up in a bluegrass band. I was raised with a fiddle in my hand. And since coming out to California kind of alone, it's been a wonderful treasure for me to have found this organization here and kind of the jams and mission that it has sponsored. So I'm really happy to kind of put my foot forward now to give back a little bit and help continue making this organization a wonderful growing community. So we can keep bringing people to this music that we love and sharing. So yeah, that's why I'm here. Thanks.
Alrighty, and one more time, you did it great the first time. All in favor of Caleb joining our board as a trustee, hands up. Alrighty. Anybody opposed? Anybody opposed? Oh, okay, unanimous. Welcome to the board, Caleb. Glad to have you on. And for our board members who are here today, we will meet briefly inside after we're done with this. So our organization, Santa Clara Valley Fiddlers Association, is a 501c3 organization. We're all volunteer. It's a nonprofit, and we're dedicated to the preservation, teaching, enjoyment of traditional music, mostly fiddle and other instruments. It was founded in 1973. That means we're soon going to be celebrating 48 years. That's a lot of people before us that were taking a lot of interest in the group.
49.
Oh, I've been corrected. 49 years. I don't know my math too well, Emily. I'll let you know the inside story. So our membership is just very slightly down, and the jam attendance has been down until today. This is just an incredible showing, so it makes me very, very happy. As of today, I think we have 171 members. It just went up for the few of you that joined. And we keep working hard to do promotions and initiatives to increase our attendance and get new members. We do some publicity, we do playouts, they're public performances. And anyone is welcome to join being a musician in these public performances. We have a great time, and that's what earns money for SCVFA. It's what's helping us keep costs down. It's one of the things that helped us to have admission by donation, and the more we can keep playing out in public, the more fun we have, and the more money we raise, and the less we have to charge our members to come. We do jam groups in the park, and during those jam groups, we've been passing out business cards and letting other people know who we are and where we are. I think that's helped. Financially, we are doing very, very well. We did have a major loss this year. Our storage locker was burglarized and all of our sound equipment was stolen. It's taken a lot of work from several members, Doug Judd and Bill Boyko and Pete Shuman and my husband Matt. We're on a committee for getting new equipment. At the moment, we haven't replaced all of it yet. We're borrowing some of Matt's equipment for the sound, and we'll still be replacing that pretty soon. We've moved our locker to a more secure location, and hopefully we never have this happen again. We have a wonderful newsletter that is published every month. I hope some of you have been reading that, because I have to put painstaking hours into writing a column, so I really want you to read it. Patrice Tanti is our newsletter editor. He does an amazing job, and he welcomes any articles written by our members. If you have anything related to music, if there's a member in this organization that you think is just the most awesome member and you want to write an article about them, this is your chance. So any pertinent articles are appreciated, and it helps us with our newsletter. Throughout the year, things that happened, we resumed our jams after COVID in May, and that was in the park with a lot of restrictions, and that continued till October, until we started back here. We held Celebrity Series through June of 2021, and they were a big hit. They helped keep our people together and brought in a lot of excellent talent that we all got to work with. As far as our playouts, our public performances, in 2020, we had 0. So far, for 2021 through now, we've had 8 performances, which is pretty darn good. That's about all we've had in other years, and it seems that they keep coming in more and more. As far as performances go, let your friends know, let your neighbors know, let people you work with know that we have a music group that loves to come out and perform. We can make any event a toe-tapping deal. Thank you, Ann. And as I said, these provide funding for SCVFA. There we are. So some of the places we did play at was a retirement community, Sunnyview. This is where our members Bert and Ann live. We've already performed for them 3 times, 2 times in person, 1 time virtually. We recorded our music and sent it off so they could play it on their video system for all the members, all the people who live there. We played at a holiday party for the Center for the Blind. We played for Kristen and Dean for Mini Mabon Festival, Celtic Festival. We were at a farmer's market in Mountain View and had a nice crowd that were playing together. We played a function called Stroll the Alameda. So there's all sorts of fun events that are coming up, and we get to go as part of the talent. Because of COVID, we didn't have a holiday potluck this year. Maybe it'll be back next year. Maybe it'll just have a different twist to it. We'll see. The open mic. It's such a gorgeous day today that I don't see anybody on stage up there. do like people to go up and perform. Don't wait to be asked. If you perform in a band, go up and show us your stuff. If you want to have your chance of learning how to play with the mic, this is the time. It's a great way to grow. There are always volunteer opportunities, and if you read my column every month, I'm pushing people for volunteer opportunities, and I must say that more and more people come early or stay a little late, and they help out a little bit here and there, and it makes it so much better for everybody. So I thank everybody for doing that. And if you watch the newsletters, you can ask to join some sort of volunteer group, and I'll send out emails to remind people when these opportunities come. Sometimes we only need you to volunteer once or twice a year, and that makes a big difference. At this point, I want to give a big thanks to some of the people who have done a lot through the year. Sharon McCorkle and Ann Whitesell have been helping to lead the Slow Jam, and greatly appreciate it. I was given a day off from that today, and that was fun, thank you. And Pete and Dinah, Pete Showman, Dinah Showman, they are always at the front desk. They are always in membership, welcoming everybody here, and all sorts of odd jobs that are always around. They're one of the biggest people that do things for us. So our newsletter editor, Doug Judd, does publishing for the newsletter. All of our board members and officers, I thank you for all your time and dedication, because it does take time. I've had some board members that have helped me to make my meetings a lot shorter, so I thank you for that, and I thank all of our board members. Thank you for a shorter meeting. So finally here, we conducted a poll a couple of months ago about how we're going to continue these jams. We talked about holding jams for 6 months in the park and 6 months here at the school. And there were only 24 people that voted, 24 people. We did have a 2/3 majority from that, but that didn't represent the whole group. So I would like to open this up for discussion about this, and the board will be making the decision as to how we will follow through. But I'd like people to keep their statements to 3 minutes or less, but I'd like to hear some conversation on this so we can make a good decision representing our group. So, now it's your turn. I have a mic here. It's like when I go to a congregation and they have joys and concerns. Everybody gets a chance. Hand around the mic. Anybody?
Hello. I'd vote for 6 months in the park. It's really nice over there.
Thank you, George.
Well, I like the idea of the 6 months, but sometimes one at either end of that could be a rainy month. Either the early spring or the fall could be rainy. So if that happens, we're going to have a place to
A plan B?
That's the only thing that concerns me about 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Charlotte.
So I agree that the weather is variable, and that's a concern, because when my fingers get cold, it's really hard to play. And then the other thing is, since I live in Boulder Creek, when I come down here, it's an hour away, then plus whatever time I'm here, and then an hour back, and I don't like to leave my dog alone that long. She's spoiled. And dogs aren't allowed at the park, at the Rose, whatever. I tend to slip her in there anyway, but I feel a little sheepish about it. So that's just a concern, that I have.
Thank you.
The Rose Garden's beautiful, but when we're there, I sometimes worry we're annoying other people who have inconsiderately set up the picnic tables and things like that. Some enjoy it, but sometimes I've heard people ask us could you not be so loud, could you move down there? And here we have it more or less to ourselves.
Thank you, Debbie.
I got a second, third, or fourth vote for the Rose Garden. I like it here, but I prefer the Rose Garden because we get more of an audience there, a walk past audience. So I understand what Debbie has said. But the converse is true too. Some people just don't know we exist, but because we play in the Rose Garden, then they do.
Thanks, Stevie.
Well, I have a concern about doing too many at the Rose Garden. One is that we have the open mic here, but we do not have an open mic there. And that's been a very long time feature of our organization since 1973. So I prefer to have more meetings here. I don't think it has to be 3 or just 6. Could be something in between. That would help alleviate the weather concern as well. And I think Matt has another alternative that I'd like to hear him speak about.
So one of the things I have imagined is doing a second jam on the 3rd Sunday, which would overlap for a couple months, but 2 jams a month in the summer in the Rose Garden, and perhaps overlap with some of them here and some of them in the Rose Garden and in the spring and the fall, and then in the winter only here. So this is logistically complicated, but
More playtime.
So what Matt is saying, he gets his cake and eat it too. So we would have jams and the possibility of being here during the time that it could be rainy or cold, and still have the opportunity to be at the park on a 3rd Sunday, if the weather permits, with less work for the crew. Anyone else? Okay. I'm not sure if I should take a vote on this. I would like to see a vote of hands, just a general idea. I'm not going to count, but we'll have some room for discussion. I think there were a lot of good points that were given today, and that's appreciated. But those in favor of adjusting the number of jams in the park, whether it be 6 and 6, 6 here, 6 there, or 4 and 6, or some other alternative, let me see a show of hands.
More in the park.
Okay, and those who would prefer to keep it as is, or as is? Okay. All right, so I thank you. I didn't mean to put anybody on the spot with that.
Hello. We used to meet at the John Muir Middle School, way down south, and some church preempted us from meeting there anymore. And I'm concerned that if you cut back on the number of engagements here at Hoover Middle School, whether they'll cut back and boot us, and we'll have to find another place.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? And we'll, as the board, we'll discuss this and let everybody know. George, go ahead.
How does staying in the park affect the relation with the school here? That needs to be thought out too. Yeah,
so this is not a decision that we want to make quickly. We don't want to lose this space because this has been a very good space for us. We've had several attempts that we've tried to find an alternative space for jamming, and despite a lot of huge effort, we have not found anything as financially affordable and having what we need to meet our needs. So this is a place we don't want to lose for sure. So, thank you. Anyone else? Michael?
I just want to mention or point out that there's other things going on in the park, and like there's a drum circle there on Saturdays. So I think you need to think also that if we want to be there, we have to kind of take up our space, because if you don't take it up, somebody else might move in, and there's various things going on there.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So just a reminder, we're all volunteer as this organization, and I'd love everybody to volunteer if they're able a little bit. Sometimes just even a couple times a year is really helpful to us. And we all know the saying, many hands make small work. So I appreciate your hands. Thanks so much, and board members will go into the inside. Back to jamming.